Hello everyone, this is Alex Ipatov, and this is the fifth video on the series about Rook Endgames. In this video I'm going to talk about the Skewer, an important element of Rook Endgames. Let's take a look at the position on the screen. From the first point of view, it seems that this position is a dead draw, because White cannot liberate his rook from a8. So if the rook moves somewhere to b8, then Black simply wins this pawn by playing rook takes a7. However, it's not true. This position in fact is an easy win for White, and White does this by bringing the rook to h8 or g8, threatening a8 queen. Black is forced to take on a7, then White checks on h7, or if White played rook g8, then on g7, and White wins the rook. So this method is called a skewer. We liberate our rook from the promotion square of a pawn, we bring it to the other side of the board, we threaten the promotion of our pawn, in this case a8 queen. After our pawn is removed by the opponent's rook, we check, and we win the opponent's rook. Now let's take a look at another example. In this example, we can see how the defending side can make a draw. And draw is made by keeping the king on squares g7 and h7. And if Black manages to keep his king on these squares, White has no way to improve his position. So rook h8 is not possible, because Black can simply take the rook, and after a8 queen, rook takes a8. So it's not possible. And if White tries to bring the king closer to the a pawn, it does not change the evaluation. Black can simply wait with the king on squares h7, g7. So White plays king e4, we play king g7, king d5, we play king h7, White plays king c6, Black can still play king g7, and only when the White king touches his pawn, in this case the a7 pawn, then the Black rook starts to check, and the idea of those checks is to kick the opponent's king away from the pawn. So rook b1 check, king a6, rook a1 check, king b6 check, king a5 check, king b4. Now the White king is quite far away from the pawn, so we can again switch to passive defense by waiting on the squares g7, h7. If White plays king c5, we again play king g7. Once the king touches the pawn, we start checking and we throw the opponent's king away from the pawn. So that was the defensive method against the skewer. This method is based on keeping the king on squares g7, h7, thus preventing the White's rook from going to h8. And keeping the rook on a1. Whenever the White king comes closer to the a pawn, then we start checking from behind, and we throw the opponent's king away from the pawn. Now let's take a look what happens if White has two extra pawns. One pawn on a7 and the other pawn on g file. Likewise, it could be the pawn on h7, rook on h8, and the pawn on b5. This position is also a draw. Two pawns is not enough to win, mainly because White has a passive rook on a8, which cannot be activated any further. The defensive method is exactly the same as in the previous example. Black should keep his king on squares h7 and g7, and the rook on any square on a file. Whenever the White king comes closer to the a pawn, we start checking from behind and we throw the opponent's king away from the pawn. But now let's try to see the difference between this example and the previous one. First of all, White has one more pawn, the g pawn. So can White try to exploit this fact in some way? Let's see. King f4, rook a2, king f5, rook a5 check, king g4, rook a1. White tried to do something, but Black started to check, so the king had to go back. And now White plays g6. White expects Black to take on g6, and if it happens, then White would have rook g8 check, king to f7, and a8 queen, and White wins. Also after g6, Black doesn't have h7 square, because it's covered by the pawn. Is it lost? No, it's not. Black is not forced to take on g6. Black has a lot of moves with his rook. It can be rook a2, it can be rook a3, it can be rook a4, it can be rook a5, it can be rook a6. Okay, let's see what happens after rook a2. Once again, rook h8 is not possible because Black can simply win the rook. So White cannot move the rook from a8, So the only plan is to bring the king closer to the a-pawn. But defensive method is exactly the same as in the previous example. Black waits with the rook on a-file, and whenever the white king touches the a-pawn, the black rook starts checking from behind. So in this case, black plays rook b2 check, king a6, check, king b6, check, king a5, check, king b4. We can play rook a1 already, because the white king is already far away from the pawn. And this is a draw. So remember that if a better side has two extra pawns, a7, rook e8, and g-pawn, it's usually a draw. If the defending side is able to keep his king on squares g7, h7. Now let's take a look at a bit modified example. In this position, white has two extra pawns like in the previous example, but in this case we have f-pawn instead of g-pawn. And this small difference changes the evaluation. This position is winning for white. So please remember that when you have two extra pawns, one of which is a7 and the other one is an f-file, it's usually winning. It does not matter whether your opponent has a king on g7, h7, because f-pawn helps to throw the king away from these vital squares. So the winning plan here is to prepare move f6 with the idea to kick away the black king from g7. So king f4, we couldn't play f6 at the moment because we're pinned on the 5th rank. So king f4, if king h7, then simply f6. And then we win by playing f7 f8. Black plays king f7, putting a small trap. We would want to play rook h8 here, but this leads to a draw because of rook takes a7, rook h7, and there is move king f6. And now it turns out that if white takes the rook, it's a stalemate. So we have to be very, very careful after king f7 and not to fall into this trap by playing rook h8. We should just play f6, threatening rook h8 and rook h7, and there will be no stalemate. So now whatever black does, it's lost. If he takes on f6, then rook f8 check comes, followed by a8 queen. And if black waits, for example, rook a4 check, then simply we move the king away, we move it closer, check, black waits, let's say, and now rook h8 wins. Rook takes a7, rook a7 check, and there is no stalemate. White wins the rook. So please remember that if you have a and f pawns or h and c pawns, it's usually a win, because keeping the king on g7, h7 against a and f pawns, or keeping the king on b7, a7 versus h and c pawns does not help. This was the video on the Skewer method. It was Alex Ipatov, and thank you for watching.